click it now, let you know when it's live. Yep, we're on live now.
Good morning and welcome to the additional October meeting of Council. I'd like to welcome my fellow councillors and council officers and any members of the public who may be tuning in this morning. I'd like now to call on each councillor and ask them to confirm verbally that they can see all councillors and hear the proceedings. Councillor Holcomb.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I can hear the proceedings and see all councillors and council officers.
Councillor Rabi.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I can see all councillors, council officers and hear the proceedings.
And Councillor Sladden.
I can see all councillors and council officers and can hear the proceedings.
I'll now ask the councillors to raise their hands if they could see and hear each other. Thank you. Madam CEO, do we have any apologies today?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have an apology from Councillor Webb today.
Thanks. I'll now read the statement of commitment and call on each councillor to confirm their commitment. As councillors of Mansfield Shire, we are committed to ensuring our behaviour meets the standards set by the Mansfield Shire Councillor Code of Conduct and Councillor Charter. We will at all times faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in us by the community. Councillor Holcomb.
I confirm my commitment.
Councillor Rabi.
I confirm my commitment.
And Councillor Sladden.
I confirm my commitment.
I'll now ask Deputy Mayor Councillor Rabi to read the acknowledgement of country, please.
The Council affirms its recognition of the Trungron people being traditional owners of this area and pays respect to their elders past and present.
Thanks, Councillor Rabi. Councillors, disclosure of conflict of interest. Do we have any in relation to today's agenda? Councillor Holcomb.
No conflicts, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Rabi.
No conflicts, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Sladden.
I have no conflicts in relation to the any items on the agenda this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll move to item 8.1.1, which is the Black Spot Funding Grant application. Do we have a responsible officer coming in? No. So I take it that General Manager of Infrastructure and Planning will be the responsible officer. Councillors, do we have any questions in relation to this item? Councillor Holcomb.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just one. Where do Vic Roads stand on all this? What are they? They just going to be beneficiaries of all this, are they? Is that how it works?
Essentially, yeah, we are seeking some funding for this from the state government, which would be via the Department of Transport. But essentially, yeah, the black spot funding will be from the federal government, and it is on recognising it is on a state managed road. However, the benefit for us is about safety of our local communities, so we feel it's an important project to advocate for.
I pretty much get the benefit for us and why we should be doing it. I just wondered why.
Yeah, we have approached the Department of Transport on a number of occasions, and they.
Oh, we can't hear you, Miss Crane.
Sorry. The Department of Transport have limited funds. Apparently, we have approached them on a number of occasions, and their response has consistently been that they don't have the funds to put this as a priority project at this point in time. Try and find my headset.
Perhaps if I can, through you, Mr. Mayor, just add to that. As we understand it, it was included in a list of priority projects for their last budget submission, but it wasn't approved for funding at that time. We are hoping that in the event it's successful for a black spot funding from the Commonwealth, that will help to move it up the priority list a bit, particularly considering that we understand there was another near miss at that intersection just recently. We've been advised by the police.
That is correct, yes. Sorry, I've got the headset, so hopefully that's a bit clearer now.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Thanks. Councillor Rabi.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor, through you. It is obvious that well, I suppose the question is, we have made Vic Roads very aware that one of our local senior citizens was killed at that intersection 3 or 4 years ago now. They're well aware of that, aren't they?
That is correct.
Yeah. A tragic loss of life to an area that is quite dangerous.
Certainly. And through you, Mr. Mayor, part of the reason why the community benefit ratio is so high is that exact tragedy that has occurred at that intersection. And that is certainly part of the reason why we are pushing so hard for this funding.
Councillor Holcomb.
So just take that a step further, Ms. Crane. Do the police also put in a supporting submission to our grants?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, for this grant, it's not that they put in a supporting submission necessarily. I'm sure they would if we asked them to. The information we get in relation to accidents and traffic incidents on that location are from the police. So and there's a ratio that's applied, and there's a scientific calculation that's applied to these applications that is based on that information we gain directly from the police.
Thank you.
No further queries. Can I have a motion, please, councillors? Councillor Rabi.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that the council endorses the submission of a grant application to the Black Spot Funding Program for construction of a roundabout at the intersection of Dead Horse Lane and Mansfield Whitfield Road. And 2, notes the estimated financial council state government contribution in the amount of $609,000 ex GST for consideration in the 2024-2025 budget process.
Thanks, Councillor Rabi. A seconder. Councillor Holcomb. Councillor Rabi, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, I do. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad to see that council are pushing on with this. It is tragic. I know the people that were left behind in this horrific accident, and I find it quite astounding that the Victorian state government got plenty of money for other things, but disregard a local fatality. Quite upset emotionally about that, Mr. Mayor, and we've just got to keep pushing on for this and get this done. And if the feds are going to help, that's great. But, thanks very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Rabi. Councillor Holcomb, a seconder. Do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, nothing more than what Councillor Rabi said, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? In that case, yeah, Councillor Sladen, you got your hand? Yep.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, look, I certainly support this application. I find it difficult that Vic Roads haven't got it high on their agenda, because when they did the original route scoping for the heavy vehicle bypass, they in fact insisted on roundabouts at all of those intersections. So I can't understand why they have changed their mind on this one. So let's cross our fingers and see if we can have some success with this application.
Thanks, Councillor Sladen. I'll now put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Motion's passed. Item 8.2.1 is the annual report. The responsible officer is myself. Councillors, do we have any questions or queries in relation to this item? Councillor Holcomb.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'm not too sure if it's a question for you, Mr. Mayor, or for the General Manager of Business and Economic Development. Can you just explain to us why we're coming to a report on the final day that was legislated for this report to be due, and it appears as though we have no input at all in this report from, in particular with respect to the audit statement from Vago. Could you just explain the background to that, or why that's happened?
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you for that question, Councillor Holcomb. Yes, this is the last day that we have under the Local Government Act for publishing our annual report, and it is it does not include the independent auditor report for the financial report or the performance report. Those two independent audits are underway and have been underway for a number of weeks. And at this stage, we do not have audit clearance. I am confident that we will have an unqualified audit report when we do receive it. And there may be a couple of minor adjustments, but nothing that's material from the numbers that you've seen in this financial report. There have been delays, and there was a week delay in the commencement of the audit, which was agreed between Council and the Victorian Auditor General's Office, and that suited both parties. But subsequent to that, there have been some delays that we aren't privy to the reasons for those, Councillor Holcomb. I do understand that there are other councils in a similar situation and having to proceed with publishing their reports as well without the audit clearance. This isn't something that we like or would prefer to have. And next year we'll look to work through how we can do this differently with the Victorian Auditor General Office and internally to ensure that we have audit clearance prior to the 31st of October.
Thanks, Mr. Williams. Just a bit more further clarification there. So, as far as you're concerned, there is nothing in the audit report that we've seen so far that would require a delay in the Vago's report.
There's nothing. Sorry.
Yes, sorry. Just allied to that. We're clearly, by what you said, not the only council that's in this boat as well. So it's, yeah, so that's looks like it's a problem coming from other areas.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Just to respond to the last one, there are a number of councils. My understanding, and I have spoken to a couple of them, that they have not had the audit clearance either, and are working towards that, achieving that audit clearance. In discussions with the Victorian Auditor General's Office, there have been no discussions of any material items that would result in a qualified set of accounts. Typically, there may be some minor adjustments that will come through on the management representation letter, but that would not result in sort of any material change to the statements or the financial position of council. We're not expecting, and from discussions, we've had no indication from the auditor that there is anything material that would require a qualified audit here. And that goes for both the financial statement and the performance statement.
And Mr. Williams, the chairman of the audit committee has been made aware of where we're at with everything?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we've kept the audit committee informed of the situation, and they have been provided a number of sets of the financial statements and performance report for their consideration. And they have been provided an annual report as we've published.
Thank you. Thank you.
Further questions, councillors?
No.
No? Okay, in that case, can I have a motion, please? Councillor Holcomb.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. The motion is that the council, in accordance with Section 100 of the Local Government Act 2020, council receives and notes the annual report 22-23 as presented, and 2, delegates to the CEO the authority to correct any errors, including typographical, in the operations report that do not materially alter the underlying message of the report, and B, insert Victorian Auditor General's Office independent reports regarding the audits of the financial statement and the performance report.
Thanks, Councillor Holcomb. As seconder, Councillor Rabi. Councillor Holcomb, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I find it really disappointing, to be honest, that there's no VAGO report here. It's a government department that's clearly stipulated what the regulations are to meet this deadline. From everything that we're aware of, everything's been done to meet the deadline, and hence this being presented today in terms of the numbers. And to be let down by a government department in not having a full report tabled at this meeting is somewhat disappointing. And it's also, I acknowledge the work that you've been doing, Ms. Williams, in all this. Your department's under-resourced. You've been under the pump to get this done, and to get as far as you've got with the report that we've got, and not have the government sign off on it, I find somewhat hard to fathom. So well done for you and the team in getting there. In terms of the report, the other thing that's disappointing, it's actually a really good report and really worthwhile having a look at for those that way inclined, because not only are the financial numbers strong, but also it's a great summary of all the work that's gone on in the last 12 months. And we all forget about it because we're all too close to it. But when you read a report like that, you get a really good view of how much work has been done. So it's a credit to the organisation to power through that work, and a great sense of achievement, I think, for us as a council and you as an executive team to see what's been done in hindsight. And to have this report and then not have it signed off by the government department, I find rather disappointing in that respect. So well done to everyone involved on your side, Ms. Williams.
Thanks, Councillor Holcomb. Councillor Rabi, as seconder, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just very briefly, I totally endorse Councillor Holcomb's comments and concerns. And further to that, I'd like to say that this is a great report to read. It's not filled up with glossy photos. It's to the point. It's easy to read and it's easy to understand, easy to access on the web. As Donald Trump would say, it's a great report. It's a wonderful report. It's a good report. So please take the time to read the report. Everyone out there that's watching this meeting, it does present an overview of what we've been up to for the past year and how much work that the council officers have done. And I'd like to say, Ms. Williams, thanks very much for all the work that you have done as well. I totally endorse Councillor Holcomb's comments on that. It's I know behind the scenes how much work you've done, and I'd like to personally thank you for that. It's been very stressful and disappointing that VAGO haven't come to the party to help out. So thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Rabi. Any other councillors wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Sladen.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I agree that it is an excellent report, very readable, and congratulations to the staff who put this together. This has been produced in-house, so well done to those staff who have contributed to it. Thanks. That's it.
Thanks, Councillor Sladen. Then there's no more speakers. I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Item 9 is the closure of the meeting. So thank you, everyone, for your attendance, and thanks any members of the public out there who tuned in. And we will close the meeting at 11:22. Thank you.